Good morning. Welcome. How y'all feeling out there? I'm Omi Bell. I'm here with my co-host Takia Ross.
Good
Um,
morning.
she coming to us from Seoul, Korea this week.
Mm-hmm.
Out there doing some business things, learning some business stuff, all the things. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
so excited for when you at the end of the trip when you have a sort of culminating everything and realized moment.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I'm here. I want to like get into that moment. Like the everything I realized was.
I can't wait to. I can't wait.
All right, we got our first guest. She here bright and early. I love that. Come on now, let's be on time. It's interesting because people, all the slots booked up, but you'll have some people who won't didn't even come for their slot. Which is like, don't sign up if you're not coming because we got people that want to get in.
Yeah,
If you signed up to be a part of the show and you can't make it, please cancel your slot because we got a wait list of people who are like, can I get in? Can I get in? Because they just didn't catch the email quick enough. Because I'm
yeah.
not, you know what, to be honest, I'm not a scarcity buyer either. Child, if it's a
Mm-hmm.
sneaker drop, I didn't miss it. If you know what I'm saying? You dropped a whole smell good red lip energy
Mm-hmm.
line. I didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? But would I have bought it? Am I gonna buy it? Absolutely.
Yes,
My body, my mind don't move fast enough to get to the scarcity job.
I know. Mine neither. Mine
I
either. I just
admire
miss
those
it.
people who like got into the like Ticketmaster wait lines. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And then they
Mm-hmm.
window opened up and they jump in there and buy their tickets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't born with that. You know what
I
I'm
wasn't
saying?
either. That's why we friends. I wasn't either.
I wasn't born with that level of urgency. I don't
Mm-mm.
know how to do that. I'd be like, how did you,
I
you know
don't
what I
have that
mean?
level of planning or coordination in my soul. Like I fumble too much. I can't remember too much to know when to be somewhere. I
I
can't.
can't,
I
I
think they
think,
got mad.
I think I'm bad with multi-step situations. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm bad with like, I took the first step, Ticketmaster said, hey, sign up here. Okay, and we're gonna let you know when your window open. I said, bet. I signed up. Did I know when my window opened? No, I did not. My
You didn't
window,
know your window open and
I didn't even know
closed.
was it my window? Was it just for
You
me?
was you didn't you forgot it was a window. You went to the
The,
door. You
they,
was
you know
at
what
the
I'm
door.
saying? I was at the door when it said it was a window. That's what I'm saying. It gets me every time. So I need friends that are
Yeah.
really good at this level of
Mhm.
so you can be like, hey, the sneaker drop is coming. I really want to get them Aja Wilson joints. Can you just buy me a pair and I'll pay you back?
Yes. But you know
So
what though? I don't have the need to have. Like I don't have it where I don't have
mm,
that. Like I don't have the like, oh my God, like that. I have to have that. I have to be there. Like I have to. Like I don't have that. Like I'm just kind of like that would be nice. That would be
you
so
know
nice.
what? That think that's a better explanation because
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right. I do. And you know what? Because it makes me think. I was thinking about. It's funny you should say this. I'm sorry, Alice. We're coming, girl. Hold tight. You know what? I was thinking about this the other day, just in terms of like growing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I had a lot of things growing up. I was thinking about this with my daughter. I had a lot of things growing up, like as a kid. I had almost every doll you could think of that I wanted. I had so many like stuffed animals and books and like
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Because I was the only
Mm-hmm.
child for 7 years. So my brother's 7 years younger than me. So I had like all this stuff. And that's all. I just wanted those things. Very
Mm-hmm.
colorful room, very colorful. You know what I mean? Like I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted those things. But I was never the one that wanted to like stand in line for Jordans. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean, I wanted me a starter jacket. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Got me a starter jacket. It gave you out there, you remember, but I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
gonna stand in line for it. And I watched like, classmates and stuff like that who would like go, they got to get the newest, whatever. And I never felt that. I was cool with my board games and all my little dolls. And,
Mm-hmm.
even with the newest Barbie thing, it was always in abundance. So it was never like, if you don't get this, then you got to whatever. And then I guess maybe my mom did the anxious thing and I just didn't think of it. So it didn't breed in me to do the anxious thing, to want to get a
Yeah.
thing. So, like, I
But
agree with you.
Yeah, mine was the opposite. That's crazy. Mine was the opposite. Like, my brother is 2 years younger than me, and we were never like I will say I never lacked, but it wasn't like in an abundance. Like,
Mm,
like my mom and my dad were amazing and we were well provided for. But like I can remember growing up and I'm aging myself and I don't care. Like when used jeans came out and like Coogies and all of that stuff, my mother could not afford that. Like that wasn't something my mom could afford. So we never got that. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't but what we learned to do was create our own thing, right? So my mom used to take us to the thrift store and like that was like our thing. Like that was like,
mm,
oh my God. And like being able to create with whatever you had, like whatever you have, is it nice? Is it clean? Are you well kept? Are you representing yourself? So that's what bred you know, it is not a necessity for me. I would like to have it, but if I don't, the world isn't gonna end. Like it's not like death to the world because I was like, okay.
thank you for sharing that too, because I think that I don't know what breeds in people
Mhm.
the need to want in a way. Like I don't know, right? But we just gave two sides of the same coin, which is like
Mhm.
I had a bunch of things, but I really so I just was like I'm satisfied with what I'm good. You know what I mean? I didn't necessarily want like a whole bunch, and it was never like a high value on clothes. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? It was like
Mhm.
my clothes were fine. You know what I mean? It was like,
Mhm.
but it wasn't like, oh, I needed to have the biggest name. But it was like my clothes are
Mhm.
fine. We did
Mhm.
new school shopping every year, and it was like new school
Mhm.
shopping, right? And I was like, you did your new school shopping thing, you got whatever. It was like, what do you want to wear? And it was like, hey,
Mhm.
this is what I want to wear. But it was never about the name brand on it. And so I've never been that person even now. Like
Mhm.
I couldn't care less about a
Yeah.
designer bag. In fact, the one designer bag outside of like Telfar, the one designer bag that I have was gifted to me from the company from
Mhm.
a friend of mine at the company. You know what I mean? Because I knew
Mhm.
for my birthday. It's like I'm not the one about to drop $1,000, $2,000 on like a Gucci whatever. That's just not. And no, no shade to that. I'm just saying it doesn't resonate to me that I need to do that. Now,
Mhm.
I like a good quality. If you didn't know I was wearing that situation because I like quality, and I think that's probably why Mama like pushed more was
Mhm.
like, if we wasn't gonna get this doll, we was gonna get the Barbie limousine. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, maybe that,
Mhm.
but I
Mhm.
think like the happiness of our moment,
Mhm.
we didn't have this, but we had our moment, and I had that with my kids as they grew up,
Mhm.
in sense of like I couldn't afford a lot, but I made sure that we would do certain things. Like
Mhm.
we gonna have this dinner. We gonna go to one dinner out a month, and it was
Mhm.
because I met the dude who was the manager at the
Mhm.
restaurant. Okay, and he liked me, and we became cool, and he gave us free food. Now they didn't know that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Shout out to Mr.
Mhm.
Tony. Always love you. They didn't know that we were getting free food. For them, we were
Mhm.
going out. I couldn't afford to be going out every month. You know what I'm
I know
saying?
that's right. I know that's right.
Um, but networking,
Mhm.
networking, relationship building, like
Mhm.
like the power of that, which
Mhm.
is a great segue. So I want to bring up Alice Foy. She's the founder of the Digital Jane, a Chicago-based operations consulting firm serving Black-owned for-profit and nonprofit organizations. She has served 75 plus organizations and is the creator
Mm.
of Ops Ready Pro. It's an ops week. You know what I'm
It
saying?
is.
We had operate. Look, we still talking about systems.
Yes, we are.
We talked about operating systems yesterday. It's like we got to talk about what's underneath it all, right? And that's
Mhm.
literally what we're talking about with this like wanting scarcity drop. It's like what's underneath it all? What's
Mhm.
underneath the need and want in a certain way? And I think it
Yes.
ties back to regulated nervous systems, if you ask me.
Don't say nothing about the regulation of the nervous
Okay, we're
system.
gonna leave it.
Mine is dysregulated. I'm
Okay,
off.
we're gonna bring it back. Okay.
Mhm.
Coming to the stage. Welcome, Alice. How are you?
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning,
morning.
beautiful.
Good morning.
So, Digital Jane. First, I just got to know what why the name?
I
Digital
know.
Jane?
Long story short, I was a freelance event producer for a lot of years, and I used to run around with brands and do all the things. And one day, the Jane came in my mind, and I Googled it, and it said that Jane means a woman, God's gracious gift. And when I put it out there, I started to attach it to every brand that I created. I had something called Jane Ella at the time. And so when I think about what I do, everything that I do has been in service of and the betterment of women, Black women primarily. But people think that I'm calling myself Jane, which is not true. It just means a woman, God's gracious gift.
Oh, nice.
That's
Now
I'm
I didn't
digital
think
awesome.
because I
of
work
it.
from wherever.
Right. I
Yeah.
thought of it. I didn't think of it as you as Jane, but I did think of it as just like this signal to womanhood.
Yes.
In a way, is how I saw it. Like the way that the name Jane is used.
Yes.
Mm.
So yeah. So tell us a little bit about Ops Ready.
Yeah, so after years and years of consulting small businesses and helping teams to grow, I have helped to train, prepare, equipped a lot of operations professionals, managers, even from the executive assistant level up. And what I realize is that a lot of them are getting these roles and getting the titles before they're ready for them, right?
Mm.
So a lot of our clients will be in these scaling seasons of growth and they won't have the team that's ready and equipped to keep that up from the back end. And so, what I think needs to exist is more hands on training models, not just me telling you how to do something or, traditional training. We have to actually give people more opportunities to learn in real time, to get their hands on the work while they're guided and supported from the back end. And for a lot of small businesses, their training approach is like get in where you fit in. It's a sink or swim mindset. Either you're strong enough to make it or you're not. And a lot of us are capable. We're just not yet equipped. And so I created Ops Ready as an intersection and a solution for small businesses to say, you can have a trainee and get some help right now. And you'll know that Alice is behind them, supporting them while they're learning through the curriculum. And we'll learn by doing your actual work. And then also the aspiring operations managers, they get their opportunity to be supported, trained, and then they get a credential for doing the work.
I love
That's
that. I'm gonna
good.
have to have you. Oh, this dog about to start crying. I'm gonna have to
Oh.
have you come over to. So and actually, I don't want to keep talking about this without dropping the link because people are gonna be asking about it. But I'm
Okay.
about to launch a course called Smooth Operator, and
Ooh,
it's gonna be about this because people have been asking me so much about like, well, how do you just do some of the basic operations things? And one of the things I came from a teaching background. I
okay.
mean, I got a lot of things in my background, child, but one of them is a teacher. And so for our onboarding, I just created a whole course. So like
Mm,
we have a platform. It just sunsetted actually called Participate. And in that platform, I put like created like modules for everything I need you to know because we
yes.
kept losing institutional knowledge between people leaving the org and being at the org. And I think that's the thing that people don't understand. Like the people who have been with you for a while, they have institutional knowledge on how
Yes.
everything you have works. And if they decide to leave for whatever reason, they get a new job, their life
Mhm.
changes, or you let them go, then you lose all that with them. And some of it, it's still hard to capture because it's situational. But
Mhm.
you got it, like getting those systems together. What's been your experience, Sakia, around like trying to get the systems together?
Yeah, it's been, don't Alice, it's been a hot mess, girl.
Yeah.
Listen, you seen how I sat forward. It's been a hot mess, girl.
I felt
Um
that. I felt it when you
because
leaned forward.
yes. And I think because you don't know what you don't know,
Mhm.
right? You don't know, I don't know why I got that little now I got a glare. Hold on. Like I got a whole situation in my camera. But I'm here. But you don't know what you don't know. Like
Mhm.
you don't know um how one thing affects another. You
Yeah.
don't know which what to implement first. You know what I mean? Do you put the cart before the horse before the cart? Did the egg come before the chicken
Yes.
before the you have no clue. But your business is running. Like that's the thing. Like your business is absolutely like running the race. And
Mhm.
so it's just like as you're going through it, so it's like you're always I say it feels like the Acela train took off and you've been chasing it
Yes.
from the moment. And all of it is around operationalizing your internal knowledge, like things that you do innately. So how does this help people who are doing it in their mind, right? Like I'm doing all of this in my head. Like I innately know to do this. How do
Hmm.
you help them get that out? Like how does what you do help them get it out?
Yes. Well, first, you all are speaking my language because we started at knowledge retention and not SOPs, right? The first thing that I want to say to small businesses as you're growing, the first thing that you need is a process in place for how you retain historical knowledge. There is not enough just to say, oh, yeah, you need to write SOPs. From the time someone walks into the door, you need to have a process for where and how they save files to your shared drive. You need to understand how that information is being, as they make edits to a process or they're managing something, you need to be in the know on that and not until they give you their 2 weeks notice and then you're trying to hurry up and capture all this information. It has to be a part of your ongoing process. So one of the things that I have done when I first started, a lot of my work was helping founders, solopreneurs who are just starting, get what they know on paper. Now we're doing that across departments because now there's multiple people who have department specific knowledge that they have been in this role for 4 years and only they may know, and they haven't yet documented how they're working across, or um, if they have certain government contracting things that they have to abide to. No one's taking the time to flesh that out. So the first thing that I would say is we have to get a knowledge retention strategy in place. That has to be a part of the information that's shared to the team when they're onboarding. What standard are they being held to? And then we are also making that an ongoing practice, not just for the founder, because the founder is not the only person doing work. This has to be a team-wide initiative. And it's not a fair expectation to say that every process that needs to be figured out, it starts with the founder if she's paying and employing other people to do work, right? So that is my first primary tips. Another thing, now that we have all this new AI, a lot of companies that I'm working with, they're moving all of those Google Docs of SOPs and processes into a learning model and making that part of their training process so that if they're using a tool like ClickUp, you can now use their AI brain to ask it questions and it'll give you back your company's knowledge instead of generic chat GPT fluff that means nothing. So
Yeah,
another,
Cloud has that too. So if you have a Cloud team plan, you
yes,
can do that. And then what I did before, because these LLMs, the AI is developing so rapidly. So
it is.
before I saw that, we had ChatGPT, and I developed a GPT. There was
Mhm.
like a couple of them. One that was just for fundraising, and one that was for internal company knowledge. So we can like put it in there. So like even if you want to say like, I want to take off tomorrow, what am I supposed to do? Right?
Yes.
Or like, how do I I want to do what's the document process for X, Y, and Z? Like, I want to get a reimbursement.
Yep.
What's the reimbursement process? Things like that. So we have our company handbook in there, and then we have all the SOPs in there. So even if you're like, well, when am I supposed to do blah blah? Yeah, it is. Now, did people use it? I don't know, Alice. Okay, I don't know, but
Do they
we
know
put
it's
it together.
there? Have they been trained
Yeah.
on using it in use case?
Well, let me see about use case. Maybe not. Maybe not like open. Let's dig into it together.
Okay.
Maybe not. So I would say like maybe that's the thing we should do. I
Yeah.
got a question for you because I think sometimes we get good knowledge, we get good information, but where do people start? Like you already in your business, you already rocking and rolling, you already got like you don't even know you're finding out like, oh shoot, I needed to put this stuff somewhere. Like where do people even begin if they're already in business? What should be like a step one?
Yeah, I say keep it simple. A lot of years, we have been pushed to download this, set up this automation and do this. If you can get a Google Workspace, a lot of what you need as your foundational tools and resources is within one suite of tools, right? So I think starting simple is good. When it comes to Hiring, that's a whole nother thing. But for a lot of the business owners that I know, when they're just getting started, they just need to make sense of what they're managing daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, understand where their priorities are, and then give their work a space. If you're working out of your text message too much and you trying to dig through your emails, you got 30,000 emails, we need to just put some things in place to put some parameters and some support around the way that you're doing and managing work. And I think that before you even get into like building out a GPT or something like that, let's first just take a moment. And I say, even if you don't have time to fully write something out, you can dictate a whole SOP using a Claude or using a chat GPT. Just talk it out and ask it to format it for you. So you don't have to start with the big thing. You can turn on Loom while you're doing something. If you're hiring your first assistant, which is what people used to call me for, it's like, oh, I'm about to hire my first assistant. Turn on Loom as you're getting ready to do something anyway. Turn on Loom. And when that EA comes on, allow them to transcribe it and put it into a document and all that. There's so many workarounds for that. So I think starting simple is the best way. Make sense of what you have. Don't overbuild, because the more you build, the more you have to manage. And a lot of teams now are working lean. So if we're scaling back and figuring out how to maximize with the tools and resources we have, overbuilding only complicates that.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said time, because I know that that's one of the biggest challenges, especially for, I mean, for all of us, right? As we manage this finite amount of commodity that we have, right? And so, especially for founders who are launching, right? I think maybe not even launching. I think it hits you in growth phase. I think
Mhm.
launching, you just go like, and you just out here like, I don't care that I gotta go to 50, 11 million places, you know what I mean, to get it together. But it's like when you're in growth phase and like you're really trying to, figure out what you've done, how you've done it, what works, what doesn't, you're hiring people. That's when all of this operations becomes mandatory. Like you have to have it. But that's actually when you figure out that you don't. Like it's in that moment, like that you figure out I don't have none of this together. And so um don't laugh at me. Alice, you know what we want? I want a cheat sheet. I'll
Okay.
pay for it. You know
Uh-huh.
what I mean? I'll pay for it. Like as you as you hit growth phase, step one. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Da, 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 da. Because a lot of it is, do you find that your founders are suffering from decision fatigue? Like
yes.
it's just kind of like, because I'm making so many decisions every day, all day. Now you're like, okay, Takia, now we got to put operations. Decide what kind of, you like, nope, I ain't got it. I don't want to decide not one more thing. It's like I want Alice, I'm calling you. I'm calling you, girl.
Call me.
Help me. Tell me what to do. Just give me the steps. Do this. Do this. Is that such a thing? Have you thought of that? I wonder.
Oh,
Probably.
you're not gonna like my answer because it's yes and
Oh,
no. It's
okay. Go
yes
ahead.
and no.
I love it.
Every dream, every vision is custom. It is something that has been given uniquely to you. And so I feel like I have tried all of the ebooks and the you should do this. So much of what I know, I have a framework for the way that I approach the work, but it is still different case to case, right? So what you may need to start with, like for if someone has a team of 12, what they may need to start with versus a founder that is just them and one other person, them and a coordinator, those are different starting points, right? So my
Mhm.
founder with a team of 12, she may be struggling with how to make sure that the team isn't struggling all over, they're not stepping all over each other because now they're trying to duplicate efforts, right? No one's clear. With that situation, I would pull their job descriptions apart. I would go through role clarity. I would go through processes and look and make sure that they understand their place in them. I would do a lot of scope planning and role clarity before we even touch anything building wise, right? For someone that is them and one other person, this is normally when you're learning how to leverage the support of another person. So decision fatigue is common when you first start having support because you're like, I gave you a job description. I hired you. You should know what you should be doing. But there's a separation between a job description and like someone having a cadence and building predictability around their work, right? So that's one of the things that we help with. I can take a job description and flush it out into something that the team can actually use on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, understanding how some of the routine things need to happen. And then they have room for what comes up, because we know there's no way to plan for all of what comes up in business and doing work, but they'll have a home base, right? So a lot of fatigue is going to happen in the beginning, but I think depending on the team size is where the starting point of priority is. I have a client that she has a nonprofit, and when we started, she had 25 employees. She now has over 150 employees. So her thing now is empowering her directors and managers with decision-making frameworks. They have to know where and how they can make approvals. This isn't something she's ever had to do before. So I'm having to take a totally different approach than someone that's starting with just like a team of 4.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Thank you for clarifying that.
Of course, but I can help. That's the thing. No matter
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
that's the
gift that you
thing. Yeah,
can't
like
help.
that's the kicker.
And I think, well, thank you for giving the answer, even though it may not have been the most favorable in terms of like the like alleviation that we want to feel as founders, or you know what I mean?
We just wanted to go away.
Yeah,
Go
it's just
away.
like we just need to get it done. I'm tired.
Yes,
And I
fix
think,
it.
so thank you for giving the honest answer. And I think because the answer comes down to where we gotta make time. You got it. Like matter of fact, you got to take time. It ain't even like you got to like push time, redefine it, twist it, sculpt it. You know what I mean? Like it don't just pop up. Time just ain't here. Oh, I got time. You don't just magically find a day where like there's nothing for you to do, and even if you didn't have nothing in your schedules, your mind is telling you something. So so I think like it is like the reality is we just gotta make that time. So but thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, look her up, thedigitaljane.com. Ops Ready is a new product that she is. Is it brand new?
It is. I've done 2 beta rounds. And this fall will be the first full-fledged partnership round of it. So it's opsreadypro.com. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help. If you need support as a founder, I'm happy to help. You can check me out at thedigitaljane.com. And yeah, I'm always happy to help. So even if it's not the right time to work together, I may have a resource, a template, or we can get on a quick coffee call and, get you some starting points.
That's so good.
Thank you
so much. Thank you, Alice.
Have a good rest of your day.
In Seoul. That sounds.
Oh, thank you, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye. See you.
Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. She clicked off quick. I hit the wrong button. But we have our next guest that we're gonna bring up. Yeah, and
you want them to solve it.
That's it.
You know how you just want to think about it. No, we don't want like help. It's like somebody help, right? That's the thing. Somebody help.
I went to meet up with this dude to get I don't know if I told this story on here already, but I went to meet up with this dude at the bar or whatever. We was getting some food, and he was looking at the menu, and he's like, "Oh yeah, do we want to get this or do we want to get that, whatever?" And I was just looking at the menu. And I guess he just read my energy, and he was just like, "Do you want me to just decide for you?" And I was like, "Please, sir, I don't care what we eat. Do you know the amount of decision making I had to do today? I don't care. Just make it good. Whatever it is, just make it food, make it good. I don't care." It was just at a point where you be going through your days. You're like, if somebody make one of these decisions, do I want juice or water? I don't know, waiter. Okay, I don't know what I want. Just somebody help. And so I think there's like a crazy amount of decisions that you make a day, generally as a person. I had to look it up again, but I had a number. And then add on top of that, being an entrepreneur, you making like the level of decision making that you're doing is insane. I think this is why we got to make sure that we I'm bringing it to regulate our nervous systems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
For sure. All right, so come to the stage. I want to bring up Falasa Day. So excited to talk to her. She is the founder and CEO of Unscripted, a shoppable streaming network blending culture, commerce, and original content through live streams, shows, and brand integrations. She's passionate about creating opportunities for Black creatives, and so I am. Yeah, let's. Now, I just want to say, Velocity, she been doing this for a minute. Okay, she been in the game, in the gym, building this thing. I remember probably like 2018, I guess, something like that, when I met her. And so I'm so excited to see where she is, where things are, how to updates, all the things. So come to the stage. Everybody, welcome. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, beautiful.
How are you?
I'm
We're
good.
Good.
Good. All right. So first, tell the people a little bit about, in your words, what Unscripted is, and then I need an update. What has been going on since 2018?
Right. We definitely got some updates, but so Unscripted is, like you said, a shoppable streaming network, but it's a great way to to connect businesses to content in a real like interactive way. So we literally make movies and TV shows, but then we work with a whole bunch of brands and put them in the movies and TV shows in a way that you can click it and you can buy it. And now we have some new updates that we're adding to it because live shopping, which I always knew is the thing. So like now we're upgrading how we operate with influencers, with brands, with businesses, and with opportunities so that we can literally find the way to amplify how we work with businesses, because realistically they're struggling right now when it comes to the whole change of how they're getting funded. And then the same thing with our creatives, because now they're not getting picked up by certain things. So we're putting those two things together and do it on our own.
So
I love that.
Is unscripted.tv, and scripted is spelled UNSKRYPTED.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious because is it where people go? Is it not like, do you have a TV app like where people can look at it like on their TV? Is it mainly like on your computer? Is it a phone app? Like, what are all the ways that people can access?
I'm actually glad that you just asked that, because that's one of the updates that we're doing. So the way that you can access it right now is mobile. So that means that you can go on your phone and you can look at it on your computer. We were on Roku, but I revamped how we operated. But now we have updated how we are operating. And hopefully by Juneteenth, I'll be able to actually just have people click the button, download it on Roku, download the app, watch it on their TVs. But that's the new updates that we've actually been working on, is making sure that it is more mobile friendly so that you can have a great user experience by watching it on TV and by watching it wherever you really want to. But right now you can absolutely just type in unscripted.tv and be able to experience all of that it is in that way.
So I just clicked on it, and the first screen that I have was like a brief flyer pops up. Then it goes to like this guy who's DJing. Is he like, so I guess he's live right now? Is that what's happening?
So he's not live, but you remember back in the day when you used to watch TV and it would be programmatic. So you would watch whatever show it was that was on. So we do a lot of live content. That way people are able to actually experience it together, because there's a sidebar chat, there's a whole bunch of stuff like that. But also when we're not like quote unquote live, we have content that is on, so that way you're able to watch it without really thinking about it. I honestly think that needs to come back, and other people are going to start picking that up too. But yeah, so right now it's where you're able to watch the items that are coming on one by one. And ironically, you were talking about us meeting in 2018 at 10 a.m. Ambitious Girl will be coming on. And that, when we met, you had printed out all of the Ambitious Girl shirts, which was one of the first shows that I ever produced that people absolutely loved. And since then, we've been able to produce so many shows. and do so many things. But yeah, so that's how it works. At 10 a.m. you'll be able to watch Ambitious Girl.
You know what? This is amazing. And I'm wondering, as a founder who does have as a product base, right? Founder who has product and who goes live and does all of those amazing things. First of all, thank you for filling the gap in the market. But also, I'm wondering how, like, if I wanted to, how does this support what I'm trying to do? Like, if we think about, like, TikTok lives and Instagram lives and Facebook lives, and it's just like, how is this different from, me just picking up my phone and going live
Yeah.
in that way?
Great question. First of all, congratulations, because
Thank you.
that's actually, you are our market. But
Mhm.
it's different because, one, it's a direct way for you to be amongst a community of other businesses. So a lot of times when you're going live on TikTok or whatever, people have to find you, people have to share you. Like, it has to be specific, and you might be competing with other businesses. When you're going live on ours, it's more similar to like QVC, like where
Mm.
it's where you're coupled, where it's like, oh no, and up next we got like, but a little bit more black, like we're really garnering in on the fact that we have all of the businesses that we've been looking for and that we should be supporting it. And then on top of that, because we're a network, we're working with influencers now that want to step more into like the TV aspect of life and being able to bring them into studio. So here it is. Businesses can join the marketplace for $250 annually, right? And that allows them to do a free live stream every month. And then we also have an in-person event that we do where we actually couple businesses up with influencers. And that way, once they're coupled up, they're able to go live on the platform together, or just have the influencer go live and kind of like work on the products. And then we can build around that. If something goes really well, we can actually make a studio setup where both of them come in, where multiple businesses come in, where we actually operate it as the full production that it deserves to be. So we're growing with our businesses, and we're growing with our influencers, and we're turning this into an opportunity for us to operate as a real community.
What do you feel like? So I imagine that, like, for you, it could be challenging to figure out which part of this to focus on over the course of a few years. Meaning, like, do you build the businesses up? Do you build the audience up? Like, which one comes first? Do you build the audience, then the businesses will come? Do you build the businesses, then the audience will come? Because I think, to Takia's point, is like, there's a ready-made audience already inside of social platforms. So it's like just going live right there. If you're all hooked up to the things, then like you're already there. But to go to another platform means I have to bring my audience over to the other platform, and then what level of audience reach is going to be on that platform. You know what I mean? It's like, and then like from a marketing standpoint, where do you focus? Because it's kind of like, where, like, you have to run massive amounts of ads, you have to get like massive amounts of promotion. Like, how do you keep that rhythm up to get enough people to come to the to the station? Because I think the only other Black woman I know that's strongly attempted this is Deshauna from Quayle TV. And she's had a lot of roller coaster ride with it too, in terms of like really trying to build up your own network. And I know some other people, one other person that's maybe working on, not just like this, but they're working on like, I want to have my own network. And I'm like, I don't know if people really know the weight of that, right? Yeah. Like, sounds great, but like there's a lot there that comes into that. What is your like primary focus from the founder perspective?
I love this question because I'm literally going through a new transition. At first, I was only focused on building the business, and I thought, they say build the business and the people will come. It's a lie. It's all a lie. Like, because I've built this thing, like you said, since, well, not 2018. We launched it officially in 2020, and a lot of people did come, but things changed. So right now, what the real focus is the fact that it has to be community based. The reason why everyone went to Tubi so quickly is because people was like, yo, I'm on Tubi, go watch my stuff, go this, go that, go this. So what has to happen is bringing in the whole community so that you're able to understand each part of the ecosystem. Ironically, like next week, I'm doing an upfront at the BOMISI Summit, which is the Black-owned Media Equity Sustainability Initiative, which means that there's 250 Black-owned media publishers that are all a part of this organization. And this is where we're able to kind of show what we got going on, how we can collaborate. We got a Black-owned publisher that runs all of the networks that are inside of the airports. So this is our opportunity to say, like, okay, I can bring the audience here. We can collaborate. You place my stuff in the airport. You know, like there's so much opportunity. So right now, what my focus is not on building the business or marketing this. It's literally on finding the way to get the community to understand that we have everything that we need in each other. The influencers have the following, but they really want to do more. Like they don't want to just influence. They actually want to practice their bag on hosting. We got that. We got all the cameras that you need. You know what I'm saying? And we got all of the space and the connections, the businesses. I get so many products all the time, but now it's like, okay, let's put that with you. Can you sell it? Can you talk about it? We're enhancing how people operate. So the thing that I am specifically focused on is like finding the helpmates that maybe know that what they're doing is amazing, but that they need to bring it over to a space that actually cares about them and will let them run so that we can build this up. When you think about BET, and I put out names, when you think about the old BET that we loved so much, there are so many people in the industry now that were a part of what that was, that are running things, that are doing things. I need those. I need the major mindset executives that know how to run e-commerce, that know how to run social media, for us to all come together and say like, all right, let's do this. What we doing? How we doing it? That's where I'm at. So it's not about, it's not the whole, let me focus on building this. We built it. Let me focus on bringing the audience. No, because the audience, we control any space that we decide to get in. Like that's literally it. All we have to do now is decide, you know what, Unscripted got it. And that's it. And we do it. So yeah, that's the focus.
I love it.
Me too. Yeah. I'm excited for you.
Yeah. Do you think that, because where are you based?
Right now I'm in Maryland.
Do you do you come to the West Coast?
I can. Listen.
No, I'm asking that because when you say, so when I hear people saying like, oh, but the movie industry is like moving out of Hollywood. True. Absolutely true. But the people are not exactly moving out of Hollywood. So like the industry itself, yes, it is moving out to your more rural areas. It is moving out to your, you know, your Atlantas, your Alabamas, even your, you know, far out New Mexico. It's true. The studios have been built up in other places. But for now, at least the people still live here. So like running into the people that you're talking about too, I'm like, I feel like every other party, All-Star Weekend. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Super huge. And I think like All-Star Weekend in terms of like people here and it's like, oh, this is a bit party time. And that's what I was thinking. But honestly, it was some of the best networking. Like the stuff that I went to, I didn't even go to any parties. I went to one party. I went to the McDonald's party. It was awesome. Okay. But so I was just wondering in terms of like the people that you're trying to meet, there's going to be that conference. But there's a bunch of folks out here since I moved out here that I'm just sort of running into or just end up being in the same room. For at least in my experience so far, and I want to be, you know, I'm not saying everybody's experience is mine. Honestly, I can't go to an event without meeting 15 people that like writers, directors, somebody in the industry that does something. And so I think, you know, considering when the next, you know, big batch of events comes or, or if like just spending some time out here, because I think like it is you're gonna run into them.
Yeah.
And people are ready to talk because the industry is shifting.
Mm-hmm.
So people want to talk. People want to see things like this. People want to get engaged. I think maybe now more than ever, to your point, they do. It's so interesting. I think too, one of the things that we find ourselves doing generally, right, is sort of, especially like in what you're doing, but just like trying to figure out who the tastemakers are. Not necessarily like this public influencer person, but like who's the person that goes, yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah, let's move into that. Mm-hmm. And what I found is a lot of times it's some of the retired executives. And that's what I also run into. Some of the like retired executives that can call up a person, the people who are out the game now. Some, if they were really good, like entertainment lawyers that are really well connected, that's an avenue to consider. For me personally, and I'll say this, just sharing this with people, the way that I've been able to work is, so a lot of this is about proximity, right? When I was in the DC area, a lot of the funding that I was able to get for BGV came through my relationships with policy people, political affairs people, like, right? And people wouldn't know that because they're thinking that I'm going a traditional route. If I'm going to the program officer, I'm going to the No. Actually, because I was in DC, my proximity to lobbyists and political affairs people was really close. So getting into those circles, we would build relationships. And no, political affairs people are not the ones with the budgets, but they know what the budgets are. Yeah. So they'd be like, oh, let me introduce you to, you know what? Yeah, I love what you're doing. Well, let's meet. Let's talk. Let's build a relationship. Next thing you know, you're able to move throughout a company. And then that was also a mutual benefit because I was close to DC, that for that company too. So even for the marketing people, it was a benefit that I was close to DC because everybody that lobbyist piece and that like political affairs piece threads throughout. So I'm just sharing, like, you may look at your proximity to the industry in what way and figure out, since you're now in the DMV, and figure out, well, who are the lobbyists for these companies? Yeah. For these big entertainment companies. Who are those folks? Like, build a relationship with those folks. And it, because sometimes it's not always the people you would think it is. Mm-hmm. You would think is the entertainment executive. It's not. You know what I mean? You like, that person ain't about to do nothing. like, it's like, but it'd be the person that sometimes is the most unassuming person that has the power to make something shake. And I think, that's just sharing what I've learned over building BGV as well.
No, I think all of that information is actually factual. And I really like, the goal right now is to kind of go to some of the other markets, because the same way that we feel in the DMV is the same way that they feel in Detroit, is the same way that they feel in Atlanta or whatever. Well, maybe not Atlanta, but like, you're absolutely right about the people being still in LA. I'm working with some people that are in LA that are starting shows. Of course, we've only been able to meet virtually, but like, I think it does mean something different to get out there physically. So I will up my connections in the DMV for sure, because you're right. There are more people that I think could help. And we got some things that we need done, but I'm gonna have to come visit you out in LA.
Yeah. No, you should definitely. I mean, even the people that you're working with out here, it's worth it to be like, hey, if I come out there, I'm thinking about coming out there, I would love to meet you in person. Would you set me up with some meetings? Like, I think like people out here are like that too. If they like you and you're in, they're down to connect you. It moves different in the sense of like, are people for real? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like in the sense that, like, I think on the East Coast, if I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Out here, I'm gonna say I'm gonna do it, so we stop talking about it. And then maybe I do it, maybe I won't. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the like sentiment out here, I think, with some people that I found. But there's a lot of East Coast transplants out here. There's a lot of people who moved here from other places who are not from here. But it's just the nature of the industry, to be honest. It's like, yeah. yeah, call me. You know what I mean? And then you call them and they don't. It's like, that does happen. So when people say like, oh, people so fake, I don't even know. Like I've heard that a lot about LA. It hasn't been my experience. What I think is the part that you're trying to figure out what is real is whether or not a person actually has the connection they said they have, whether or not that connection is actually sound enough to share. Like that is one of the kickers to just any business, to be honest. When you meet and networking, it's like, do you have the connection you say you have? And is your connection strong enough to share? Because sometimes people be connected, you'd be like, well, why don't they just connect me? Because they don't have the power to connect you.
Yeah.
They're not it's not strong enough to share. Which brings me to, as we get ready to let you go, Unscripted has built a platform that's strong enough to share. Right. And I think like that is where the work that you have done to really build up this, to be able to have like a easy flowing of programming and, shows to watch and things like that. I think, you've been doing some great work with this, and shout out to you for just staying at it, because I think, I remember you just being like, I'm doing this thing, and people being like, okay, girl, what? Like, and then it catching on. And now you're absolutely right. You have people who are leaving, like Speedy just left Complex. People who got, fired from all these media play. Like there are people now who are like, I think I'm gonna take my own shot.
Yeah.
I don't have to be a part of these big media conglomerates.
And I think too. Oh, I'm sorry,
Velocity. No. I was saying those are the people I want. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, and I was saying on a lot of business owners are turning into their own production teams, right? Because I can remember not being able to afford, to have people come in and record and do all of the things, and so we started creating our own. And so once I created my own, like now, I'm hard pressed to allow somebody else to touch it. You know what I mean? Like I know how I like. No, and I'm just saying, so we want to be more hands-on in the process of our creation and not just handing it over to somebody and say, hey, create this for me. Like we're turning into in-house producers, you know what I mean? In-house directors, because it was a skill we had to learn as we so I'm excited about, and I'm upset. I'm not gonna lie. You all up in Maryland and we in here together. And I'm just like, wait a minute now. I'm gonna call you, girl.
Absolutely. Look, we doing things, so it's time.
Mm-hmm.
But this is exactly why I'm on here, because I feel like a lot of times the people didn't get to know what it is that we're actually doing. So this upfront's going to be great for people to actually understand the involvement, but then it's also going to be great to allow the involvement. So we ready. Let's work.
Love it.
And congratulations to you, because I am so, and I'm talking to you on my bad. I know that we've known each other for a while, and you've seen me at it, and I've seen you growing, so like it's just really dope to understand how small the world is when we are creating something great, because the reality is the people that you meet on the way up are definitely still going to be the people that you meet at the top. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Wish you all the best with this, and everybody should check it out. I'm gonna check it out for sure. But yeah, have a good rest of your day. We'll talk soon.
Have a great day, beautiful.
All right, bye. I'm all like creativity, like us being able to just keep being creative is just so.
It's so amazing.
It's so, and it's just so necessary.
And hard.
And hard.
Like,
hard.
And hard.
Because I think too, like, there's always this, like, we should start our own thing, right? It's true. And I don't know how close we watch other things when we start our thing. So I was looking at the different pages. So I looked at Tubi, I looked at Unscripted, I looked at Quayle TV, right? And shout out to Deshauna because she's been really building and she's been doing like amazing. And I just look at the layout of the platforms and I'm like, we have been conditioned around the way that Paramount looks, around the way that Netflix looks, around the way. So it's these little nuances that the industry has created that then ask us to match it. And then I don't know if we match it fully. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so when somebody starts a TV network, the first thing they do is run reruns of things that you're already familiar with. Like if you like the OWN network, even with when Magic Johnson was starting, what's the name of it? I don't even know. But even when TV One started, like the whole thing was just running reruns. Because it's like the audience just needs to be a go-to. So they would buy the rights to particular reruns. And I think Quayle TV actually tried this, but I'm not exactly sure how it worked out. But it's really hard in that industry. And it's really hard to be like, but I'm gonna do it different.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
I was gonna say the same thing because I think yes, like the industry has created, big business has created almost like a template, like a model that consumers have grown accustomed to. And so they're accustomed to certain things showing up in certain places. Like how many times have we gone to Netflix to watch your favorite Martin episode? I'm just making up stuff, right? Like, oh my God, and it's not there, or it's not showing the way that you saw it on, another network, right? I think industry creates standards that consumers get accustomed to. And so then when you are new to the market, not only are you like, yes, I want to be different, but I have to appease the consumer. Like I have to show up in a way or merchandise my business in a way that the consumer feels comfortable, right? Navigating, they know what to expect, and is ease of use for the customer, because that's one of the biggest things that'll be a turnoff, as you're trying to grow, is if the customer finds this, I don't understand how to navigate this, or this is funky. It don't look like my, you know what I'm saying? No, it don't look like Disney Plus. It don't look like, and so then they'll go back to what they're used to. And not that you're not creating great content or have the right to all of those amazing things. They can't consume it in that way. So it's almost like you have to bring them in the way that the customer is used to consuming it, and then try to maneuver like little pieces of you or change or fun as you grow your base. And so I think it's always that bicycle ride that you're on.
And trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
And it's hard
Yeah.
because you're up against an industry that maybe have more resources,
Yes.
so they can do it quicker or different. But I think AI is going to combat that. So I hope just everybody, I mean, to some extent, right? Not that it's the supreme answer to everything, but I just think that some of it we're going to be able to get out, be able to get ahead a little bit, especially when it comes to design, I think, and being able to build quick in some ways, right? Because now, I'm not sure how their platforms are built, but now you probably could build something similar to the look and feel of a major industry thing, like quicker. We got our next person, Kat Lopez. She's the founder of Kat Lopez Shelby, is the founder of Shelby Technology Solutions, a trusted technology advisor and the host of Tech Plus Tequila, the Tech Plus Tequila podcast for technology meets community. Con Croissant. Okay. She helps small and mid-sized business simplify, secure, and scale. Coming to the stage. I need to go off camera for just a second, but I'm gonna bring Kat up to get started. Hello.
Hello. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, beautiful. Great. We're so good. It's so good to see you this morning.
Yes, thank you. It's wonderful to see you.
Yes. And listen, I'm ready. I'm ready to know all the things. Okay. So I need to first hear about Shelby Technology Solutions. What is it? Do you do? Who do you serve? Give me all the business. Give me all the business.
No, no, I love it. So thank you very much, first off,
You're
for
welcome.
having me. And
Yeah.
so Shelby Technology Solutions, we're a technology consulting company. And what we do is we help businesses make sure that their tech stack is working for them and not against them. So
Mhm.
that can be everything from internet to how you communicate with your customers. And of course, we work with them to make sure that whatever they're implementing is keeping them cyber safe and secure as well.
Mhm.
Especially in this wonderful world of AI,
Mhm.
where
Mhm.
every time you're turning around, you're hearing about something new or you want to do something different. And we love
Yes.
having discussions with business owners, of multiple sizes, whether you're a solopreneur or you have a small team. We specialize in the small business and mid-sized business space. Um, but having stated that, is there's just so much that you can do in this day and age, especially
It
with
is.
automations and AI.
It is, and I'm glad that you brought up the tech stack, right? Because as a non-techie, you see what I'm saying? As a non-techie that happens to use technology, that's what I'm gonna go with, okay?
Okay.
When I'm talking to people and they say like language and verbiage, like, can you explain to somebody like myself who may be a little bit non-techie? You know what I mean? Like when you're going, somebody's like, well, tell me about your tech stack, and you're looking like, girl, like tell like
Right.
what
You
would
like
that
stack.
encompass? You like said, when am I stacking it up? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. But can you tell us what that would look like? What does that encompass?
Yes, absolutely. So, really, when you think about it, I always tell people think about the base of what you're doing, right? And just like we're here, we're here because we're all in some way, shape, or form, we're utilizing the internet, right? Which is really like the foundation blocks. In fact, yesterday, so I work with a lot of companies in West Texas, and over the last 2 days, this smaller town called Monahans, Texas, had a major fiber cut, and it affected like everybody under the sun. So think about your gas not being able to get gas because you can't use the credit card machines. You can't do all this. Like the base is your internet, right? And then when you go up from there, you want to think about how you're communicating with your customers. So back in the day, that would be making phone calls. But as with today, people want to be able to chat. They want to be to text message. Well, I say text message, WhatsApp, like what is the preferred method of communication? Because not everybody wants to get on the phone and make a phone call. So that's kind of the secondary layer. And I like to say everything in between, because obviously, we're meeting through, and I always say this backwards, but StreamYard, right? That's another thing. Like, how are you meeting with your customers? Are you meeting virtually with dial pad meetings? Are you meeting with, I just was on a Google Meet. Are you meeting through StreamYard? And, how are you doing that? So those are all different things that we look at for our clients.
Yeah, because I think like to your point, thinking about operationally how you do all the things. So for example, if you're gonna have a house, right? Like then you're going to how are you gonna dial out? You're gonna use a phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna have a phone, then what service? You're gonna use T-Mobile, you're gonna use AT&T, what you're gonna use, you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have toilet paper. Are you gonna use Cottonelle? Are you gonna use Scott? Are you gonna use
Mm-hmm.
Charmin? Right? Like it's like, and then you decide, and that essentially becomes your stack. So in your house, you use Charmin and you have T-Mobile and you have laptops, and that's how you connect to the internet. Your TV is a smart TV, or you have, and what kind is it? It's LG, right? Like, it's like, then that means you LG, Charmin. It is like that becomes your stack of things that are in use in your life. That's just an example. Translate that to at your company. I have this thing called they have the business plan canvas, and I created this one sheeter called the tech plan canvas, because I realized that people we're thinking about business, so we're thinking about like, okay, how we're gonna what are our channels, what is our audience, how does the model work, all that. But we're thinking all that, but not how we're going to use tech to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, well, like, are you going to use Sage or QuickBooks, or what? Like, are you going to use, like, for marketing? Is it just going to be Facebook ads, Google ads, some other ad? Like, what are you going to use exactly? Is like getting down to that like understanding of like what you're going to use, and then what should you use or shouldn't use. Like you might not be at a level to use Sage. Sage is a huge accounting platform, right? And it costs a lot of money every year. You might still be at the QuickBooks level, you know. You might be at a FreshBooks level, right? Like it's all okay. You just got to make decisions as you grow and what you need at what moment. How do you, so Kat, are you assessing people? Like what's the process of working with you?
Yes. So what we do is we go in, we have what a conversation based on what their desire is, like, and I always use the example. It can be everything from we feel like we're missing out because customers are telling, like, we're missing out on leads, for lack of a better term. Like we don't have all the channels available. We don't have a chat through our website, or we don't have the ability to message back and forth. And what we do is we go into that conversation. We'll do a base review of their tech stack, just making sure that they have all the back end the way it needs to be so that it's going to fully function for them. And we make recommendations based on that. And one of the big things that I've noticed, especially in the smaller business and medium business side, is a lot of times, just by default, if they've worked with one of the big guys like the AT&T or the Spectrums or the Lumens or those, by default, when they're like, oh, we want to implement this or we want to bring in a new technology, they'll automatically think, let's go to those guys, when they may not be the best fit for them, because there's so many different technology companies in this day and age. And in fact, there may be a better solution that really fits all of their needs exactly like what they want. So, and I always use example, there's a company called Weave, and it specializes in working with like doctors' offices and vet clinics. So all of their solutions are based on those exact needs for that niche. But if you've never heard of Weave or you've never interacted with them and you're just going per se with like a Ring Central or someone like that, you're not going to have that full breadth of those solutions for that.
And we definitely need people to help us make decisions around that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because then people
Mm-hmm.
get you just lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I know I need a thing, but I don't know exactly which thing I need. And I don't know if I get the thing because there's also a lot of like trying to fit yourself into like one size fits all things, where
Mm-hmm.
you're like, I'm trying to use this platform and I'm just trying to
Yeah.
stick my company into it. It ain't exactly what
Yeah.
my company needs. I also think like that's one of the things that's going to evolve with AI, is that like now people just building their own little dashboards for their own little, it's like, I don't need it to do all that Airtable does, then charge me $13,000 a year. Like I don't really need that. I just need to do these two things and give me this one part. And then I'm going to build it real quick with AI, because it's going to be like whatever you can imagine. And I'm gonna just keep maintaining it myself for the, $20 a month I'm paying plus some tokens. You know what I mean? Like I think like that we're gonna see that happen more and more. What do you tell us? What do you want to leave the people with?
Mm-hmm.
I always want to leave the people with one thought, and that is that tech is great and it's wonderful, right? And I absolutely love it. We all love it. We're here on StreamYard, and it's great that we can connect in these ways. What I always want to leave them with is, if your tech is causing you to be like, ugh, at the end of the evening, then it's time to, sit down, have a discussion with a trusted technology advisor, because your tech should be making your life easier. It should, helping with your ROI, be helping with like your KPIs, helping you meet your goals. It shouldn't be something that's standing in the way of them.
I have a question though. Now I got a question. Now, Kat, you didn't opened up, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. So, can you explain and help us understand like the difference between the hardware setup side and the software setup side, and then how they integrate together? And because as you were talking, right, and you were just kind of like, your technology should be working for you. And if you are in business and you have that angst, like that frustration about, oh my goodness, like this is not working for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like I hate it here, right? And I'm speaking to myself, Cat. I'm talking about me, Cat. But anyway, I hate it here, but it's just like, I'm just like, is it a hard, because like the software you're telling me about, we have. So I'm like,
Mhm.
is it a hardware issue? Am I not connecting correctly? Like my things aren't talking to each other. Like my home computer does something that my laptop, they're not talking. Like what? So is that a hardware issue? Is it a soft? You understand? Like people are kind of like,
Mhm.
I don't know where I am in this party.
Yeah. No, I would say with that, with a non-specific item, it's you want to look at number one, is your hardware compatible? Right. So can, your laptop have the capability to talk with your desktop or your computer, whatever you're using at home? And then the second thing is it a software issue? Like, which I said will kind of be going back to the hardware. If you're saving something on your, like, let's say your laptop, right? But it's not talking to your desktop, right? Then how are you getting that information across? So you want to, at that point, make sure that you're saving whatever in the cloud so that it exists wherever you're working, right? So I always say it's a mix of the two. That's the
Mm.
one thing about tech. Tech is really where, you start troubleshooting here and you move up to figure out, okay, what are the problems? But generally, what I run into the most when people are having issues like that is it's outdated hardware, usually, or something
Mhm.
that might possibly need to be updated. um, it's an integration issue, which means that they haven't integrated in a way that makes it efficient across where all they're using it at. And thirdly, it can just be like a software issue where maybe something's not turned on that needs to be turned on.
Thank you so much for the cat. That makes sense. Like breaking it down like that, I'm like,
Mhm.
yep, that's us. That's us.
Yes. Well, thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Or
Thank you so
ladies.
much
Sorry.
for joining us. And if people need to reach out, shelbyts.com, go and check it out. Get your tech stack together. Okay. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure we appreciate you for joining us this morning.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you,
All
ladies.
right.
Have a
Have a
beautiful.
great
good
day.
rest of your day.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
I love that we talked about that because I think we don't dig into that as much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if you are into tech, then you don't think
Mm-hmm.
about it either. Cause like
Yeah, you don't.
I'm just like, oh yeah, girl, just da-da-da," you know what I mean? Like, cause I'm
Yeah.
so into it and got all the things. So it's an interesting
I'm not
question
into
though.
it. I wanted to work.
But it's what you asked is an interesting question around, is it a hardware or software thing? So, software wise, things have been freeing up differently. So, it used to be a point where like Apple talked to Apple products, Windows talked to Windows products, and then as Google came along, Google kind of got a little different with the cloud space where you can like talk
Mm-hmm.
to multiple things. But then even with Android, it'd be like Android talks to Android. But now I got a new Windows machine because Visa gives out free laptops at their business events. So business events, go to them. Go to them for the information as well, not just for the free laptop. But I'm just saying they give them out. And I saw that they had this like, oh, a connector thing where you could like connect your Windows to your like to communicate with other products. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I also have a Google Pixel. Shout out to the Pixel team that
I
I
do
got from an
too.
influencer event. And they have a new thing on Google Pixel where you can airdrop to other phones. And you can airdrop to an iPhone on the new ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
See, I
like,
don't have a new
oh,
one. I don't have a new one. And Omi, because you're my person, right? Because okay, so if you're listening to the Omi, it's my person. So Omi keeps me together when it comes to my technology. Now Omi gonna snatch me up about a lot of things, but she know the girl be out here loose. Okay. So I got my Google Pixel. You may not remember from you. You gave me my first Google
you.
Pixel. Yes.
Because
And
I was
so
working with the
it
Pixel team. People don't know
yes.
that.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
so
people don't
I
know that.
Omi gifted me my first Google Pixel, and we still use it. Like it's literally in the office right now. Like that
Oh
is like my
wow.
favorite. It is.
Google Pixel is so great.
It is like
It
it is
really is. Like
amazing. And I love it. And I haven't traveled with it in a while, and I need to start traveling with it. But I think, but again, that's why I asked the question. Like, I need to start upgrading, right? Because it's just
Yeah,
like
we need to get you
now,
a new one. The
yeah.
one, they're all great, but I would
Mm-hmm.
say that like the new one, it has a lot of
Yeah.
different functionality that I think you might
Mm-hmm.
like.
Yeah.
And you do use Android. You know,
I
I'm an
do. I'm
Apple
an
girl, but I
Android.
got it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to content creation,
Yes.
I
I'm a Google
love
girl.
my Pixel, and the
Yes.
fact that they have, like I said, they made this connection now.
Yes. And so,
So
and because we gonna talk. We
yeah,
listen,
so
because
we
you
need to
can
get
tell.
you a new one.
I'm just, but it's like I'm really struggling, and I don't know if other people are with
Mm,
the connectivity of it all, right? Because it's like we have so many. Like when I'm traveling, I have, this laptop, and then, but when I'm in my home office, I have, my bigger desktop setup. But then when
mm.
I'm in the office, I have a smaller, and then I have my laptop, and then I'm most of the time on my phone. You know what I mean? So it's just like I need all of these things
To work
to
together. Do
talk
you
to each
have Google
other.
Workspace?
I do have Google Workspace. I need to call Kat, or I need to call Jane. I need to call somebody. Somebody need to come help the girl, because it's just like, and I know mine is more of an integration issue. Like it's like we are doing what we're supposed to do. We have workspace, we have all of the things, but they're not talking. And because I'm not techie, like I try to get them to talk, and then I get frustrated because they don't. And so then I'll just do workarounds, right? Because I don't have time to sit and like not have my stuff work for
Ma'am.
me.
Okay,
No,
so
I'm
we
just,
gotta
yeah,
talk.
yeah, that's what it's like. I
Yeah,
really, and
yeah.
I'm being
No
honest.
judgment. No
Yeah,
judgment. Yeah,
like
no
I'm just,
judgment.
it's just like
Yeah,
they
no
need to
judgment.
talk, but it's like I need to increase storage in this area. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm really photo, video, content heavy.
Yeah.
And so it's like I have to increase my storage, but then it's like, where are you increasing? You know what I mean? Like, which part of it? It just becomes a whole mess. So I needed all of this. I need an audit on me. Like, I need somebody
Yeah.
to come in and be like, audit this. Like, here are all our things. Take the things, look at it, and let me tell you what we do, and you tell me, how, like, what do we need to do? Where do you see we need to, and I'll do it. It's just,
So this is no shade to anybody's services that came on today. So I want to be respectful of them. But I would
mm,
say that like what I've been getting into lately
oh gosh.
is the Cloud extension for your browser. So
I had
Chrome, if you use Google Chrome and you have the Cloud extension. And then I have Cloud Desktop as well. So, and then I'm using Cowork. But let me tell you just about the extension, okay? If you have the extension on your browser and you click the little button and you just ask it, hey, this thing is not happening the way I need to be happening, and I don't know what's happening. You know what I'm saying? And then you open up the tabs. It will go through the tabs, figure out what you're talking about, give you a plan, and then you can say allow it to do it or not. Yesterday, you know how you have to like connect your domain and they tell you to like add these
yes,
records, add the MS
yes,
records, add the
hmm
TXT record.
yes.
Claude did that for me yesterday.
Don't say that, because the way I had to do those, go in the back end so that our emails could do the DNS send, that the way I was up all night trying to get it to do that.
Claude did that for me yesterday. I
I don't
opened up
want to
my
talk.
GoDaddy. I opened up my Google admin. I was like, something ain't working. My email, I wasn't getting my emails. And I don't
Yeah,
know, it just fell out of sync somehow. The
yeah,
email's been fine. Then all of a sudden, they weren't.
mm-hmm,
I'm like, what the
mm-hmm,
heck? And it's
yeah,
like, oh, it's because you don't have any MS records. You want me to add them? Yes, because I hate them things. Like,
yeah. I
but
mean,
like
they're the
you get it.
worst. They
They
are the
are trying to add them
worst.
records.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you don't. I'd be like, then they're not immediate. Sometimes they take like
No.
48 hours. You gotta wait.
Yes, and then you
Uh,
don't know if you did it right, and then it don't, and it failed,
then the
and then you got to go
verification
find
ain't
where to
there. You
fix.
like, chow. So even I, as a techie, be like, this is doing too much. but Claude did that for me, and I was in shock because I was like, oh, this
I
is another
just
level.
I just added the Claude to my desktop, but it was before I left. So when I get back
Okay, so you
home,
get back
I'm
with
gonna
we
put,
had a
yeah,
while, right?
yeah. When I get back
Yeah.
home, I'm gonna work it out because I started adding our documents. So I started adding because it was just like, I'm like, you know what? I need you to know who we are. Like I need you to know who you're dealing with, right? I don't want you to be making stuff up. This is our ethos. This is who you are dealing with. This is all the information I have about who we are. Now let's start from here. Let's
No,
start
that's
with these
real.
foundational documents. But I
No,
think
that's
I
real.
think you have to be unafraid to start over. And I think that's what's like, and not, well, start new because it's not over, right? You're not like, it's not like you wipe everything clean, but like start new, like start fresh. And I think that's something that scared me because it's like you kind of got used to your workarounds. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I know that,
Mm.
and so now it's just like, okay, I have to really like sit with this and like figure out what I want these things to do for me to grow my business. And again, it oftentimes has nothing to do with technology. It's about you making a decision about where you want your business to go. And
Yeah, and in the beginning, you just start.
yeah,
You're not really thinking about organizing as much.
yeah,
You're like,
hmm,
let me just go, let me just go, let me just go.
yeah,
And so you're just
mhm,
doing things. I
yeah.
mean, so there's places where I still had to unravel that like
Oh
my
my
old
gosh.
email might be somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
Like, and I'm
it
like,
is
oh
a
man, we
mess.
gotta remove that email. Like
Yeah.
it's a thing. So we also
Mhm.
have a team admin where like her whole goal is to like manage like a bunch of our tech and in a certain way and like people's accounts and registrations and laptops and making sure that people get cleared off of accounts if they're let go and who's on the account enrolled in the account we hire them like it's a job.
Yeah,
It
it
is a
is. It's
job.
a
Like it
big
is
job.
it's a job. I think with the Google Cloud, we just need to I think it's a little bit more easy. We just need to figure out what domain are you using? Like is it gonna be accessomatized? It's gonna be Kiki Thunder, and then is everybody gonna have a Kiki Thunder
Girl,
address? Or is it gonna be
on me. Kirsten and I literally had, and people like, we had a 6 hour meeting, like going through, and that's the thing, like, it's really like, which one are we going to use? Like, which domain is the domain, right? Like, which is the one that's going to house all the information? We were going back and forth, don't laugh at us, because we were trying to decide how to rename all of our file names, right? Because it's like, you don't realize you need to have a file name cadence,
you
right? Because we
definitely need a
couldn't
file
find,
name
like,
cadence.
we could not figure out where to dang on, you know what I mean? We're looking for files, we're looking for things. And I'm like, I know I have it. I know we did it. But because we didn't have a file name cadence and like a process for when you create this document or this file, this image, this video, it needs to be named like this. It needs to be put here. You know what I'm saying? So that way we can always, oh, we were a hot mess for 6 hours. We were like going back and forth, just trying to figure out where the things were, which domain is the home domain, like, this is the home, this is our hub. Which did we want to use? OneDrive? Did we, you know what I mean? Did we want to stick with Workspace? Do we want to transition from our Outlook? You know what I'm saying? Email? How do we? Oh, it was, and that was just one day, 6 hours, and I think we decided on one thing. Like, I think we finally we finally got to, and this is how we're gonna name all files. Thank you.
Okay, that's a big accomplishment.
Yes. I was
That's a
like,
big
oh my
accomplishment.
goodness.
Like, no shade to that, because that's a big accomplishment.
And then backing up your data on me. Like, nobody
Oh
talks about
Lord.
that too. Like that
I
that
got a
data
whole drive
backup.
sitting right here that I need to back up. A matter of fact, I'm glad you reminded me. I actually need to do that today.
Yeah, like it was just like, so it was like doing our external hard drives, and you know what I mean, like pulling, like pulling that data, and now none of that data is named correctly. So we're looking at it like, well, what is this? You know what I'm saying? And this is back from another computer back in 2022, and you looking like, what?
I
I
just
don't
got
even
a
know what
new
this is.
computer so I can build with Claude, like build with AI on it. Not just Claude, but AI in general. And when I got a new computer, I almost felt like throw it out. Like, just I don't even want to look at the old computer no more. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
Yeah,
just too much
yeah,
stuff on it
it
over the
is.
course of this last
Yeah.
it's since 2019. I had this computer since like 2019,
Yeah,
and it's just so much. I don't even want to put any of that on
yeah.
my new computer. It's like I
And
just
that's
want to
the
like.
thing.
It's like all this got to stay over here. This is gonna be my
Yeah.
daytime working computer. That's gonna be my build with AI computer. And here's the thing: the reason why it was interesting about what you're saying about things talking to each other is because of that. Though I'm having to be more conscious that like I don't have everything on this computer I'm building
Yeah.
with. That's on the other computer, so I can't just easily access.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's what is happening. I am bridging a lot. So for example, like I have Apple products. So I created a notes scratch space that's shared between the computers. So I can like copy, paste, put this here. So I can do that. So now I have a bridge in between the two computers with that note, with that Apple note. And you
I
can do the
can't.
same thing with the
No,
Google Doc.
I love you so much. Let me try this. I love you so bad. Like it's too late here for this. It is too late in the evening for you to be doing this to me right now. That's what I want you to know that. Right now, but I agree. And I agree that one of it is as a non-techie person, like I love, I'm the one that's going to I will keep my galaxy until it dies. Like my galaxy actually has to blow up first. Like that's who I am. I'm not, people who and I'm realizing that you do have to, as a business owner, I do have to make investments and upgrades. Like, and it's just, that's who I am as like as Takia Ross, the human, right?
But you
Like
know what? Okay. Come journey with me. Okay.
yeah, I'm journey.
So, but you're not gonna keep expired makeup. See what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah.
Because you know
I
that
know. I don't play with
expired
that.
makeup is gonna mean everything gonna be tainted and it's not gonna be good
Yeah.
for your skin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this is what we might have to do. We might have to start shifting the metaphor a little bit, right?
Yes.
Like the cloud is a shared makeup bag. See what I'm saying? Everything we put in this bag, you got access to it. I got access to it. See what I'm saying? You got to figure out where your makeup bag. You know what I'm saying? We all got to dig out of this joint. Where's the makeup bag gonna be? Like that. We might have to start shifting the metaphor
for me.
so it
Yeah, for
makes
me
more sense.
specifically.
Yeah, so it makes more sense. I love that kind of thing because that's what I try to do for people anyway. It's for it to make sense. And I'm not just because there's something else that happens in the brain trying to fathom all of what it needs to be done for it. But if somebody could put it in the language of our own industry, it makes perfect sense. Because I can't fathom. Don't ask me about no makeup. Don't ask me about what the bag need to carry. Don't ask me about where product need to go on first on the face, second on the face, third on the face. I don't know. Just put the thing on and make it look right. And how did my eyes supposed to get light like that? How you got this whole middle part of my face looking light like that? That don't make no sense to me. I don't get it. I look like I'm glowing and I have no idea. No matter how many times, no matter how many instructions you have given me, no matter how many times you've been like, okay, we put this part on first, it's not going to be like what you did.
Right. But see, and so now use that metaphor for how I feel about technology.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I get it.
It's like, and so when you said keeping expired makeup, I immediately was just like, okay, so I need to go to Samsung as soon. Like, I'm going immediately because that sets me off. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like a no. Oh no. You don't do that.
Right.
So like it's just like, but I agree. Putting it in terms that I can understand, but I think it's just about that. It's finding the right people that will put it in terms that I can digest, right? Like I'm willing to do it. I'll do the
Yeah.
work. I just don't understand. So it makes it harder for me to do the work because I don't even understand. You're talking in a different language to me. But if you be like, girl, that's like when you put that brush over there and you blend, 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 that's what you need to do. You need to get these. And I'll be like, I'm blending. I'm blending. I'm
That's
living
it.
my more word to blend.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
That I agree with that. And you're not alone. Like we're talking about you in this moment, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure people watching us can relate. And I was a high school teacher that taught computer programming. And what I realized is that the hardest thing was for them to see themselves as the programmer. I could get them over using the language, right? Oh, I don't understand what this language means. Fine. You don't need to understand it. Just use it, right? Like that part. And I think like that's also the part about what's happening with AI. We about to get ready to get out of here, but I think that's the part that's happening with AI. Is like you don't need to understand it, just use it. Like, and that is holding. That's like, wait, what? I need to understand it. It's like, no, you don't. Just use it. And I think that is a part of what's happening in the breakdown of like people being able to really, really get into it or not get into it. On top of like, moral beliefs and environmental change and things like that. Like, I don't want to ever ignore those parts. But I think that like what people don't understand about just slapping people into training is that we're going to have to enter this, I think, in a different, we're going to have to talk about this metaphorically. We're going to have to help people bridge into this with different kinds of language. But that kind of stuff is fun for me. I do it all the time with multiple kinds of concepts. Like we could be talking about the weather and I'm like, well, if you think about it like a bowl of soup, like that's just how I feel about things. It's just fun. But I think you're not alone. I like I said, in teaching students, they couldn't, their brains weren't, it took them a minute to be like, oh, this is that. Oh, got it. So I think that's why I grew that muscle of having to tell it to them different. Because they just weren't, they weren't getting it with me just standing at the board being like, and then a semicolon. Like it's just, and same for me. Like kids in the DMV, they actually have access to computer science before they go to college. I didn't. So in college, I'm taking computer science classes. I'm sitting there like, say what now? You need to do, huh? And it took me a minute to wrap my brain around why these different things was important to the code. Like why is that important to the code? How does that set up this? How does this, so anyway. Well, how much you get some sleep, girl? We gonna get out of here. I will see you tomorrow. We'll see y'all tomorrow. We'll be right here. Okay.
Same
All
time,
right.
same place.
That's right. Have a good rest of your day. We appreciate y'all.
Good day.